What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about dating while you have psoriasis or dry skin, eczema, whatever it is that you're dealing with. And I've seen that in the comments and I just want to address that because I believe it's an important topic. Plus, I've dealt with it and I know that you're going to come across it. Maybe you already did come across it. Maybe you weren't sure what to do. So hopefully you find this video helpful. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I release videos about my progress and about different things that I find, and as well as helpful tips like this throughout my channel. Also, leave a like if you do find this information helpful, so that I can be encouraged to keep doing this. Anyways, let's hop right into it. So, first of all, I want to know: have you been struggling with dating with psoriasis or eczema or seborrheic dermatitis? I hope I said it correctly. Dry skin conditions. So if you have, leave a comment below. What have you dealt with? What scenarios you came across? How did you tell the person? And so on. So I'll kind of guide you through what I've been doing in the past, what mindset I went through, and hopefully one of those things will help you, because personally it helped me a lot in my journey as far as psoriasis goes and as far as the dating world. So I have, in my years of being single, so to speak, I definitely, when I had psoriasis, it was definitely something that's on my mind. But the one thing that always helped, and this is something that I hope you take away from this video, at least that part, is that you cannot let psoriasis win. It's all that mindset at the end of the day. Yes, it's annoying. Yes, psoriasis sucks. Why me? Why is everyone else has clear head, like a hairline, and I have this going on, right? Why is my face red? It's annoying. So I can continuously complain about it and be upset and crawl into a little hole in the wall and cry, right? But that's not going to solve the problem. Matter of fact, it's going to make things worse. So I figured, well, if I don't let myself even believe I have it, if I just act normal, if I eat whatever I want, but obviously with moderation, and make sure I keep track of psoriasis stuff, then it should be fairly easy. Now, at the end of the day, you can live a normal life. You just have to make a few sacrifices what you can and can't eat, right? So for example, if you're going out on a date, you should probably not order that dessert, right? Because you know that it's processed, it's sugar, and all the stuff that we shouldn't be having, dairy and so on. If I do go out and I normally already pre-plan where I would go, so in my case, obviously, if I meet a girl, then where would I take her? What would I eat? That's kind of the plan. And normally, I know that the restaurants I will pick will have things that I can eat without a worry about ordering. And if they don't have that specific item, I can find something else. But at the end of the day, too, what also helps is if you're doing the 90-10 rule, which I talked about in videos before. So that's 90% of the time you're being clean, you're eating healthy, you're eating what your diet is supposed to be about, whichever it is, whether you're trying to vegan diet, a carnivore diet, whatever it is you're trying to do. For myself, I just pick to be as clean as possible. So no sauces, no processed food, no alcohol, so really clean stuff. And if 90% of the time I do that, then the 10% I don't have to worry about. So if I do end up going on that date and I go out and eat, I don't have to worry about ordering something maybe that I shouldn't be eating, because it's the 10% time that I don't normally get to anyways. So yes, it's ideal to not have that, but if I have that one drink on that one date that I go to, it's not gonna make or break the date, or not gonna make psoriasis worse specifically from that one time. Now, some of the questions that I saw some people asking in my comments is, and some of the DMs that I actually received about this: how do you deal with telling people or telling the partner you're seeing that you have psoriasis? Well, first of all, if you're going on a first date and you never see them again after that, then I promise you psoriasis was not the reason. It was something else, right? So first of all, you got to establish, is this something that you're doing? Are you boring? Maybe you didn't click, whatever the case is. And I don't want to get into a whole dating advice here, but the point is, it's not just the psoriasis that was the issue. That's in your head. That's you blaming something to say to yourself that the date went bad or it didn't work out because of psoriasis. So this is just a closed loop of you blaming something. If you get out of that loop and actually analyze, what is that you could have done better? What is that you didn't like? Why didn't you click? If you figure out that part, that's more important than focusing on something that's so obvious. Oh, it's psoriasis. Because like I said, I've been single and I've had my fair share of dates, and I promise you that was not the reason why the dates didn't work out. Maybe 1 out of 10 was the reason. Now, the way I would ever bring it up, if that's even a necessity for me to bring it up, is if they're sharing something that's personal to them, some kind of problem they're having, And the only time I would share what was going on with me is like, okay, well, they opened up to me about something. They have shared with me something that they probably embarrassed by or don't like having or whatever. So I usually say, well, since you're bringing up all this stuff about yourself, I guess I should share something with you. And usually I'll come into it with a joke, right? You don't want to just say, well, I'm messed up like that. I just say something funny first, and then I go into, well, I'm sure you noticed my skin is dry. It's not a big deal, but I have psoriasis. And I make sure they know what it is, right? Do you know what psoriasis is, right? And normally most people know what it is. The occasional person might not know, and that's not a big deal. I just tell them it's just dry skin, nothing to worry about. It just sucks. A blessing that I got stuck with, so to speak, and that's it. We move on from the topic. It's all about the attitude you go with it. If you dwell on it, if you say, oh, yeah, it's something I got and it sucks, it's itchy, it's annoying, it's really bugging me, as you can see, it's right here. Like, if you do that, then obviously you're throwing your insecurities to the vibe of that date. That person's going to see that. They're not going to like it because it's not a positive thing for them to see and hear, right? And plus, your attitude makes it so much worse. So you got to make sure that the way you portray that is super, super important. As soon as you tell them about it, how you react next, how you vibe next is going to determine whether they look at you, okay, well, yeah, he has psoriasis, but he doesn't seem to care. They're gonna like that because that's just a little thing in your life that's an obstacle and you don't seem to care about it. So why would they care about it? Because they look at you as the awesome person that you are, that yes, you have this one little thing, but whatever. That's not gonna be the make or break of your potential relationship. Speaking of, I have had the long-term relationship, so to speak, where I met the person and yes, they might have saw it, but they didn't care for it because they liked me for who I am. Whether it's for athleticism, whether it's for the business aspect, whether it's for me and my routines, whatever the case is, but they liked something else that psoriasis did not affect that. Now, I hope this makes sense to you, and I hope you're going to go into your next date with that in mind. Now, I do want you to keep in mind, too, that yes, people pay attention to it. Yes, they see it. And yes, it's not a positive thing. Because at the end of the day, and I'm just going to bring all the negatives to you so you understand what they are or know what they are. Or maybe I just reconfirm them for yourself. Just so that you know that here's what the worst cases are, right? So worst case, somebody sees it. They're like, okay, what's going on? He has a red face. Or what's going on? He has dry skin. Or maybe they even think worse, like, oh my God, this person doesn't take care of themselves. They don't shower. Whatever. Like, whatever they might think. And then you start talking, you start making them laugh, you start showing them a great time, and they're like, you know what, who cares about that red face, let's move on from that. Yes, they still might think like, oh, this is a genetic thing, this might be in the future, if most people think like that even, kids, it might get passed to the kids, right? So that could be an issue, and that could be something that someone thinks about, and you know what, that's okay. Just because that specific person is thinking like that, and they don't want to be with you because of that, there's many fish in the sea. See you later. You'll find someone else that has everything that you ever wanted, and you'll be everything they ever wanted, and it doesn't really matter for that one person that didn't like your psoriasis. Again, 1 out of 10 people might actually say something about it or think something about it. So who gives, I don't want to say that stuff on the channel, but who cares, right? Like, let's move on from that. Think about the next person. Now, if you've been going on a second, third, fourth date, and you're still worried about whether or not you should talk to them about your psoriasis, that's straight up in your head at this point. Because they've agreed to see you again, and they clearly didn't seem to care about your psoriasis. And I promise you, they've noticed it by this point. And if it's still hidden somewhere in your body, if it's just on your elbows maybe, or on your back, and it's not visible otherwise, and you're self-conscious of them finding out about it, I mean, everyone, like, if that makes you feel better, everyone has some problem with them. It's very, very unlikely for you to meet somebody that's absolutely perfect top to bottom. If they don't have anything on their skin, if their bone, if everything in the body is perfect, well, their mental state is probably not perfect, because it's just very unusual for me to come across somebody that has absolutely everything on point. It's just something that doesn't happen nowadays, because people smoke, people drink, people have genetic problems, COVID is around. There's so many things that happen that it's just very rare to come across someone like that. And if you do come across someone like that, hey, if that's not meant to be with you, then it's not meant to be, like we talked about, right? So just keep all those things in mind. And I hope, again, this will help you have the shift in the mindset. Like, I know that being confident in a split of a second or by me just saying this video is not going to change much. but at least it'll give you a perspective when you go to your next date that don't focus on your psoriasis. Don't focus on how they might think. Focus on your date. Focus on analyze them. You're interviewing them. I mean, not officially, but think about what they bring to your life rather than the other way around. If you think that way, then you're actually gonna enjoy making the day better. You're gonna enjoy learning about them more, and then you might actually start thinking about the next day rather than thinking about, oh my god, they didn't like my psoriasis. So if you guys like this advice, make sure you drop a like. Again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel. I'm gonna drop a lot more tips and experiences of what I've had and how I improved my psoriasis in my journey. Make sure you do subscribe because this will help you in the long term. Drop a comment if you haven't already about your dating scenarios that you've had, and I'll see you guys in the next video.